My ancestors have spoken to me for many years, telling me of my heritage as a part of the indigenous tribe of northern Scandinavia, the Sámi tribe, people who run with the reindeer. My grandmothers and grandfathers' traditional ways of life and spirituality were taken away from them when as children they were sent to boarding schools designed to assimilate them into the Lutheran religion and Norwegian way of life. It worked. Generation upon generation of wisdom, culture, and their beautiful shamanic way of contacting spirit was completely wiped out, along with all their sacred drums, taken from the elders and burned, or put on display in other people's museums. They became a joke, and their heritage was shamed. My ancestors contacted me in a vision, asking me to remember myself to them, to build an ancestral grandmother's drum, to bring their ancient wisdom back to my family. I listened. They now support me daily and show me how to honor my elders, even though they are no longer in body. They teach me to open my heart and my mind to their guidance. They show me pathways that, if I will but follow, take me to hearing the voice of spirit at light speed. They have helped me to hear the voices of the earth spirits, the tree people, and the walking, standing, sitting, flying, swimming, climbing, and crawling people, and how to honor them. They now implore me to teach what I am learning, to teach others how to make their own contact, to find their own wisdom, each in their own way, through the use of a sacred drum. Welcome to the world of sacred drum making. My name is Laurie Nelson, and I'm so honored to share this time with you. Drums have been a sacred portal for almost all indigenous peoples throughout history. Rhythm, music, chant, using the sound current to transport ourselves to that place where we meld with spirit, that place where we meld with the core of our hearts, our heartwood. That sacred drumming helps us fly beyond the borders, beyond the field, to go peregrine. And what are the borders? The borders are the limited assumptions that we carry about ourselves. Some we've just taken on, some we've been taught by our culture. The line you draw in the sand, oh, I'm not, or I can't, or I'm too much of this, or not enough of that. Sacred drumming takes us beyond that place, to another place where we can hear in the silence of the heart the beauty of who we are, the beauty of why we're here, the beauty of what we came here to do, and how we can help each other, lift each other up to those places. It's really a magical occurrence, and throughout all the meditative practices I've worked with in my life, drumming has become the fastest way to transport my consciousness to that space, whereas other practices, very beautiful, very blissful, for me personally it would take me longer to reach that space. And drumming was instantaneous. It just happened immediately. So I like to think of it as a very magical happening, but also a very practical happening, very practical tool. To me, the drum is a mesa. It's an altar space, and the way we build it, and the things we put on it, the way we decorate it, the parts of ourselves that we put into it, become a part of that altar. And as it resounds, you're lifting those prayers that you've put into your drum out into the world, out beyond, to spirit, to that place of spirit. And within the sounds, between the sounds, there's a silence. There's a beautiful, beautiful silence that resonates, and that's where the listening occurs, in that place between. That's where you can hear. That's where we can hear the voices in the heart. the voices that speak to us from beyond those borders of limitation that we've learned. And so in that way, sacred drumming is very profound and can be extremely transformational. It has been for me. I've longed to hear the voices of my grandmothers for as long as I can remember. And I haven't had grandmothers for a very long time, and I only knew one of them. And so it doesn't surprise me that they asked me to create an ancestral grandmother's drum. They're reaching back. My heart's been reaching out for so long, and they've been reaching back. And through this very simple tool, this beautiful tool, now I can hear them. I have them. They counsel me. They guide me. They instruct me. They teach me how to teach, how to work with you, how to listen to the voices of nature that are calling. They're urging us to please come back. When we first visited the who we now know as great-grandmother cedar, she's an ancient western red cedar in the rainforests of the Pacific Northwest. We put our hands on her, my partner and I, and then left and talked in the car, and we'd both felt the same thing. We'd felt this deep sadness. And I don't feel sadness from trees normally. I usually just feel all this love for them. But there was definitely an emanation of sadness coming toward us, and I didn't want to go back to see that tree again. It was like, I don't want to feel that. Yikes. But when we went to make the drum, the ancestral grandmother's drum, there was a very clear directive that I heard in the silence of my heart to go back and visit that tree and to take my hoop to that tree. It was only the hoop was done at the time before we'd stretched the skin, and so I did, and I listened to my elders. And so I sat and I played another drum for this beautiful tree, and she came right into my awareness and my presence and told me she was great-grandmother cedar. And I said, why are you so sad? Is it because all the land around you's been logged and now you're living with 25-year-old babies and there are no others like you that you can see for miles? You know, I don't know that you can even communicate with them anymore. And she said, no, I'm not sad in that way. She said, she was speaking for them all, we miss you, we miss people. We miss the days of humans when you would come and you would play your drums around us and you would dance around us and you would sing your songs to us and in our presence. You would hold your ceremonies at our feet. And the vibrations of all of that dancing and singing and drumming would go down into the mycelial layer, the fungal layer that connects all of the trees, and communicate that joy to all of the trees. And we miss it. We miss you. We miss humans. She said, I've become a picture-taking tree now. People will drive up the road with their cameras because I'm big, and they take their pictures and they stand and they feel a sense of awe and a sense of wonder, but they don't sing for us anymore. You don't dance for us anymore. You don't drum for us, around us anymore, and we need you. And she was imploring me to come and tell you, all of you, that they want us to come back. Please come back and drum for us. Come back and sing for us. And that was the week that my ancestral grandmother's drum was birthed and came to life, and it turned into a 5-day vision quest that was unplanned. I had no idea it would be what it turned out to be, but through their presence and their teachings that I listened to and followed, it changed my entire life. It was incredible. And so through these classes, I offer you that same opportunity to sit with the trees, to sit through the making and the visioning and the process of bringing and birthing a sacred drum to life. And through that process, bringing yourself to life, going into your own heartwood, finding your heartwood, that place where your dreams lie, that place where you, that is so beautiful, is waiting just waiting to be born and birthed into a bigger, broader you. And I look forward to sharing it with you and to cracking open our hearts together in the presence of these amazing ancient ones and our ancestors and our guides who love us so much. So I offer you blessings and thank you. I'm ever so honored to make this offering and ever so honored to work with you. Thank you.